Wait. Eddie did not know that you spoke Spanish
Yeah.
at one point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a shitty friend, dude. What can I say?
What's up,
Although,
everyone? Welcome to Betamax. My name is Fidel, and joining me, as always, is Eddie and Jose, and our special guest, Omar.
Hey.
Hiya.
Hiya. These fucking mics are awesome. Like I was just telling Fidel, you can pick up my beard. Look shit up.
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Sick
ever
ass.
since that incident, I've always given him shit, especially because of Yareli. He can't say her names.
That one I can't pronounce. Dude.
Yeah.
Really?
He can't say Yareli. Yeah.
Do it.
I could pronounce it if I do it slow, but then I just sound stupid.
But do it now. Do it slow.
Do it. Say it.
Yareli.
There you go. See.
There you go.
That's
I say it fast.
Just practice it, homie.
Yeah.
Practice it.
I do.
He
In the
deserves
mirror,
a beep
every
beep
morning.
beep for that.
Hey, it's okay because I'm 75% Mexican, 25% Irish, and apparently my tongue cannot roll R's,
Oh dang.
Yeah?
and it's tough for me as a Mexican.
That just sounds creepy, dude.
Can you roll your arms, Jose?
Oh man,
Yeah.
Just do the. There you go.
He's got the tongue.
Yeah.
I got the Irish tongue. My tongue's fat.
All right, so, damn, I lowered the volume on my headphones, and now I feel like I can't hear myself.
Oh, I could definitely hear you.
Oh, yeah, that's right. So, we wanted to talk about your guys' history as musicians.
Nice.
We're-
I'm definitely into that conversation.
So, how old were you when you started playing an instrument?
So the first time I ever picked up any instrument, I was in the 6th grade. There was always kind of programs. Once you get older, like into the 6th grade, where you're like what, 9?
6th grade?
6th grade? What are you?
No,
in?
6th grade, you are 11.
Oh shit! That
Yeah,
makes-
I would not have been able to guess that.
See, me neither. So 11 would be 98. So yeah. So in 1998, elementary school, I started playing trumpet
Oh, hell yeah.
in band. That was my first, but only because my grandfather played flute in marching band. So I already had a kind of my whole life, from my grandma to my mom, music's always been a big fucking factor in my life. So I really just remember listening to KRS 101 with my grandma back in the day, and listening to
Hell yeah.
back then KRS 101 was like
Oldies.
was like 40s, 50s, and the 60s, right?
Hell yeah.
KRS 101.
Los
Dude.
Angeles.
Oh.
you gotta add that one.
Hell
I
yeah.
forgot.
Yeah.
But back-
and then it'd be like Los Angeles. If you don't know me by now. Dude.
There you go. You know.
Yeah,
you
dude.
know.
Dude.
You know. Art LeBeau. So, anyways, yeah. So I grew up like pretty much listening to. My mom was a big club 80s girl, you know, and she used to do the whole Madonna thing, you know, like the whole
Dude,
the
what
Madonna like vibe of the whole gloves, the way
Dude.
she dressed and everything. So I grew up with the mix of 80s and with a mix of with my grandmother with the mix of like from the 40s to the 60s. So from literally like Ray Charles and I can't even think right now. So everything from like Ray Charles to I can't even think of his fucking name right now.
Chuck Berry.
Chuck Berry. Yeah, you can go Chuck Berry. Chuck Berry to, you know, Ray Charles, all the shit from the 60s.
To like the Temptations.
To the thank you. The Temptations. I grew up around all that, you know, classic music. So I always was around music. And then in 6th grade, when I started playing trumpet, I went trumpet, trombone, and then I went into high school and I wanted to play guitar.
What sparked that interest in guitar?
What sparked with the interest with guitar was just, as a matter of fact, it's funny. Sergio.
Really?
Yeah. So when I was in 8th grade, Sergio's family moved across the street from my house.
Word.
And it's so crazy because Sergio came across the street one day, knocked on my door, not knowing me or any of my family, or just knocked on the door. First moved in, was like, "Hey, we just moved in. I noticed you have a son. Can I talk to your son?" And then my mom, got me, and I came downstairs and I started talking to Sergio. And Sergio got me into like Placebo, Dead Kennedys, Bad Brains.
Oh shit!
He like all the punk rock shit.
So that's how you met him.
That's how I met him.
Really?
Yeah. So I already had this interest in music because I already played all these instruments. Mm-hmm. And then he moved right across the street, and he came over because he wanted to meet the kid that looked like he was his age.
He just wanted to play.
He just wanted to play. Yeah, he just wanted to meet a new friend. He was like, "Oh, there's a kid across the street that's looks like my age, I'm gonna walk over there and introduce myself," which is fucking totally Sergio.
Yeah, dude.
Like super fucking Sergio. Like if anybody knew Sergio, you would know he was just the guy that will he will fucking
within 10 minutes. Within 10 minutes, you are his best friend.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly. And he will make your family love him immediately.
Yeah, dude.
He had the biggest heart, and just there's a vibe to him that was just different.
So he's the one who brought punk to your world?
Yes.
Oh shit, that's cool.
So I mean K-Rock and all that shit. K-Rock, Power 106.
Yeah.
Fucking for us in the IE 103.9, K-Rock.
Yeah.
Not K-Rock, or what was it?
it was X1039.
X103.
X1039.
I just threw K-Rock in there for some reason. I'm Buzz, guys. So, so he was the first one to actually introduce punk music to me.
Dope. Okay.
So he brought. It's funny because punk and skateboarding is how we because at that time that's when Tony Hawk came out.
Yeah.
So that was Tony Hawk, skateboarding started blowing up, and we became really good friends through skateboarding and music. Mm-hmm. He showed because not even just punk rock. I just remember. Can't remember. Was it? I think it was the flip video, skate video.
Yeah.
There was, I can't remember what skater it was, but he skated to a Placebo song. It was Every Me, Every You. And I remember Sergio coming, this fucking the skate spot is dope on this video. Let's watch it. And we listened to Placebo. And I remember after listening to Placebo, we went to Virgin Records, and Virgin Records was a big thing back then.
Mm-hmm. Which one?
Their Ontario Mills.
Ontario Mills, yeah.
Yeah.
My uncle used to work at that one.
So we went there and we picked up a Placebo CD, took it back home, listened to every track, and I just remember that was my real introduction to really getting into music.
Really?
And it was that just random Placebo track, album. And then I also had my godfather. I haven't talked to him in a while, but it's been a long while. But my godfather was a really big part of my life at that time. And I would go over there for weekends, and I didn't know that he was gay until much later, until I kind of put the pieces together that he was gay. But he had a partner, and his partner was really into punk rock, and he had a Dead Kennedy. He had a Give Me Convenience, Give Me Death.
Okay.
He had that album.
Okay.
He had an original CD, and then he gave me that CD and my first guitar, my first electric guitar.
What kind of guitar was it?
It was a 1970s Fender.
Like a Stratocaster?
A Stratocaster.
Hell yeah.
from the 1970s. I still have it. Actually, I gave it. My niece has it right now because I gave it to her because she was learning to play guitar, but then she got into drumline. But she still has the guitar at her house. But that guitar is still there, and that was my original.
If you're listening, he wants it back.
I want it back now. But no, that was my original. That was my very, very first guitar, and that was the arm guitar.
Oh, okay.
That
So
guitar still has my blood stains on the frets.
That's sick, dude. So when Sergio knocked on your door, how old were you?
13.
13. Okay, so how long between? So when did ARM start?
So I met him at 15. ARM started when I was 16.
Mm-hmm.
When ARM originally started, it was just me, the homie Al, and my homie Brandon.
Brandon, right?
And we all lived in the same block.
Yeah, in Southridge, right?
Southridge, Fontana.
Yeah.
So we all lived on the same block. We started the band. We recorded our first demo off a little boombox.
Mm-hmm.
It was just a 3-piece. Sergio at that time, for some reason, his parents wanted him to go to a Fontana school district instead of, because where we lived, it was like a weird cutoff for the districts.
Mm-hmm.
So if you lived where we lived, you had to go to Bloomington, which is Colton School District. If you lived on the other side of Beach, which is old Southridge, you went to Fontana School District, so you went to Kaiser.
Got it.
So I don't know if his parents knew someone that lived on the other side, but he went to Kaiser when we went to high school, and then the rest of us were in Bloomington.
Mm.
So when I started the band, it was all the guys from Bloomington.
Mm.
So
you went to high school with like Eddie and
Al, and Brandon, which are the original members of ARM, and Sergio, went to Kaiser, but Sergio always, like, whatever friends I had during high school, since Sergio was across the street and he would always hang out with me.
Those were his homies.
Those were his homies too.
Hell yeah.
And Sergio was just like a magnet for homies. Like,
Yeah.
we literally used to call people Sergio's goons. Because he would have people that would live at his house for like months at a time.
Oh my gosh.
And we would just call him Sergio's goons.
Dude.
So eventually we got him to do second guitar with us. And Al moved to bass. And we ended up getting Tom as a drummer. Because the original drummer...
Because you're in the military.
No, he wasn't in the military, but he ended up he just lost interest. Like, his interest into like punk rock stuff. He just didn't want to play drums anymore.
Or for Al?
Brandon.
Oh, Brandon. Oh,
Brandon.
got it.
Because
Yeah,
he was the original drummer.
So what was Al doing?
I was playing bass.
Oh, so Al was originally a bass player before he was on drums.
Yeah. Before Al was on drums, he was originally a bass player. So originally it was just me and Al started the band as a guitar and bass. And we tried like 4 people out for drums that had no clue about punk rock shit. It was just like random fools that we knew that played drums.
Word.
And then Brandon was like the only person that we knew that was into punk rock shit. Like, he knew Spaz, Charles Bronson, Locust, like all the shit that we were into, he was into.
How old are you guys?
15.
Damn, that's pretty advanced.
It's crazy because we went straight, because like I said, when I was 14 and with my, playing guitar and with my godfather, I only Dead Kennedys, Subhumans, like The Aborted, like typical your
Punk rock. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just we had no idea about these genres of like power violence, thrash, like these genres were new to us.
Yeah,
still.
these boundaries weren't drawn. It was just like it was punk.
Yeah, it was just punk.
Punk or like crust, if anything,
Yeah. And it's funny because the crust thing only came in because of Eddie. Because Eddie was the only crust punk in high school. He had, his hair was like couldn't even see his eyes. I was like, oh, he down here.
Where he's like disrupt patches on his
Disrupt
hoodie.
patches, fucking dystopia, like just patched all the fuck up, like pants, everything. Everything was just patched up. He was the only guy like that at school. So it's funny because he was in an anarcho band during high school that would play in LA a lot. But
Who, Eddie?
Eddie, yeah.
Really?
Back in I wish I could remember the name. I can't remember the name of the band that he was in, but it was like a rival band for us because we're the only like power violence band because we were doing power violence. Us, the three, me, Brandon, and Al, and they were like kind of like our rivals.
Got it.
And one of the guys in that band hated us. You know, Miguel. You know Miguel.
Yeah.
At that time, it was like, you know, like, who are these guys? Kind of thing. So it was kind of like a rival band kind of thing. And eventually, I don't know how it happened, but Eddie ended up wanting to sing for us. So that's how Eddie came in the band. And when Eddie came in the band, that Brandon lost interest in playing punk rock, and Al's like moved to drums. And that's kind of how like the base of ARM started.
Yeah, like the like standard issue ARM.
A standard issue ARM, yeah.
Yeah, because I remember the first time I saw ARM is when I got like an invite to when they used to do like those punk shows, like those crusty shows over at Sylvan Park in Redlands.
That's hilarious because I have a great story about that. But yeah,
Dude, we're save it
I'll say it.
because and it was in the gazebo, right?
Yep.
And that was the first time I saw you guys, and it was Al on drums, you and Sergio on guitar, no bass,
No bass at
No
that time.
bass.
No bass.
and Eddie is the vocalist. And I remember, like, I don't know if it was you or Sergio or both of you guys were wearing like a poncho.
It was me.
It was you, okay, wearing a poncho, and then dude, you guys sounded like Charles Bronson to me. And then I remember like Eddie, like he had like he was bleeding from his face.
That was his thing for some reason.
Yeah.
His nose would always bleed.
And then every time I would
Same,
see,
homie.
every time I would see ARM, it was like Eddie would always have his like he was always bleeding from his fucking face, and like I remember hearing people be like, "Oh yeah, he has like a fucking like a condition or something or whatever." Like rumor, like I heard like rumors and shit. Yeah, and like oh, it's because he hits his fucking face too hard with the mic on accident or something, you know. But I remember that was my introduction, you know, and I thought you guys were so awesome, dude. Like, and I had only been turned on to that type of music through bands like Charles Bronson, Spaz, you know, and at that time, like AC/DC, you know, because like they were the like only local band at that time that was actually had like
Yeah.
a vinyl record and was kind of doing like the big boy shit.
And it's funny because you say that because this show, your introduction ARM was maybe a month out before we did our first show in LA with those bands, with AC/DC and
Yeah, because I was gonna say because like and then it got to a point where I would go to like the Fontana backyard shows, like which was like a scene in itself. But then like that's where I started seeing AC/DC, you know, and bands like AC/DC, Bastard Ass, Motel Unit, and ARM, and it was like a whole ass like environment that was like exclusive,
yeah.
you know, and dude, that was super cool, dude. But I just remember seeing like you guys, and I was so intrigued and like wanting to just like talk to you guys, like introduce myself and stuff. And you guys were super cool, you know. And then I remember at the time, like I had my own, like I was really into anarcho-punk, and I had like Imperative Peace, you know, with a bunch of dudes who were just like, they could play instruments, but they were nowhere near on the same level as me because I did not, like they didn't fuck with that stuff, like at all.
They weren't serious.
No, they just didn't. It wasn't music that they liked. They just liked playing drums or playing guitar or whatever, you know. And then we would end up like playing together at times, and you know, and I remember becoming like good friends with you guys, and trying to like set up my own shows, coffee shops around Riverside and stuff. And then like Arm would play. And that's how I kind of got to be more familiar and like become friends with and closer to you guys, you know? So like what was your guys' relationship like, say you and Sergio, like say outside of music, being across the street from each other?
Your typical childhood friend, man. Like we literally, it wasn't just music, you know, like before the music happened, because that was when we were already in our late teens, but we met when we were like 9. So it was more like skateboarding and video games, watching movies, like it's just like little interactions like that. And then, you know, we grew together as like that unit of, you know, getting into punk rock music. Like we ended up getting into the same things, which is funny because I don't think if it wasn't for Sergio, my interest in music, I don't think would be so broad. Because I remember at a young age getting into punk rock stuff, and like, you know, when you're young, you're like, poser. That's a poser band.
Oh yeah.
You know what
like,
I mean?
like if you see someone with like a NoFX patch or something
like that, that you're like
Rancid. That's not.
Oh,
punk.
that's not punk. That's poser.
Yeah.
But so like for instance, I remember
For the record though, like Rancid is super awesome and they're super punk. Just for the record.
Yeah. So I could just remember an instance of this. He was the first person to like the Blood Brothers. And we talked shit to him for months. For fucking months. We were fucking calling him a poser, telling him like, get that scene shit out of here, whatever. And then he like sat us down. Like he literally fucking sat us down to make us watch a DVD of one of their live performances. They had a fucking DVD. Dude, we sat there and literally after that, we're the biggest Blood Brother fans.
Dude, it's so
tight,
funny
dude.
you say that because like you guys were the ones that turned me on to the Locust. And I remember Sergio telling me like, oh yeah, there's like this Locust and Charles Bronson like adjacent band, Holy Molar, right? And he's trying to turn me on to them. And I remember hearing it for the first time and I was like, yo, I don't know if I can do this. You know, like they were hard to listen to. And he's like, no, watch. And he popped in like the fucking disc into the into his iMac. And like I saw like where they had played like this fucking random ass like show in somebody's living room.
Yeah, so like Birthday Boy.
Yeah, it was like a birthday party in someone's living room. There's nobody there. Like this is on the Holy Molar like DVD, right?
It's like the extras on the DVD, yeah.
And like there's nobody there and they are popping off super stupid in the middle of this random ass living room with like at some birthday party, nobody's around, and it was so rowdy. And I was like, damn, this reminds me of Arm, you know? And I was like, no wonder you like this shit. I was like, this is tight. Like you're right. Like this is awesome, you know?
It made sense.
It made sense, dude. You're right. It made sense. It made sense.
But that was Sergio, man. Like he will venture far off to the other spectrum of what you think he would be into and manage to like open your eyes to it and be like, this is why I like it. This is why I think it's dope. And then you could be like, yeah, okay, I get it. I fucking get it. I get why you think this is tight. Because he opened his mind. His thought process was just, I haven't met anybody like that to this day.
I agree. He a rare breed because like he had such a broad like interest in music.
Yeah.
He's turned me on to so much of music that like I otherwise would not have ever like stumbled onto or heard or even liked. Like to the point where like if I heard it myself on accident and decided that I didn't like it, he would find a way to make me like that thing, you know? So like even to this day, like I have such a more open mind going into like different things because of him. Because he just was just like he knew how to appreciate and rock out to different genres and styles of music.
And he could explain to you why. It's not just because he liked it, but he could explain to you why he likes it.
Yeah, dude. He just like felt that shit. Like and he was like that with everything though. Like I remember him turning me on to like stand-up comedians. And
Yeah.
like and like
Movies, dude.
Yeah.
He was like a jack of all trades of everything.
Dude, like I remember seeing the night at his house and like his like they had a bunch of like bootlegs, like DVDs, and he was like, "Yo, you guys want to watch Bride of Chucky?" You know. And then like I remember his like mom like making us breakfast. Like we stayed the night after like we went to like it was like an arm show or something, and like me and Bobby spent the night at his house, and then like Raquel made like this bomb ass fucking like Rebels Rancheros type kind of thing, you know. and then we're sitting there like on a straight up like bootleg like from Mexico and shit, like Bride of Chucky and shit. And we're watching it, and then she like we're all eating like, you know, like whales or like fucking omelets or whatever it was. It was bomb and it was tight, you know. Like he was that guy.
Yeah.
How did you end up playing music with him?
How did I end up playing music with him? So I mean, like we were good friends through like ARM and at some point, like when me and Bobby, we had that band Impact, like we started trying to do our own thing. And so to rewind, like I had No Mas
Yeah.
with Tom and Francisco. And then we would play all the time, like with ARM, dude. Like it was like Fontana backyard.
That's how we met him at the Sylvan Park show. And the thing that before we go on, the way that first time that we met No Mas, we played at Sylvan Park, but we also had a show in Corona at that coffee shop.
Yeah, like Javalicious.
Dude, I have not heard that name in so long.
That's right there in like Norco,
Dude.
like on the border of like Santa Corona.
Yeah.
So Tom had this little ass Honda Civic, tiny ass Honda Civic.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. I don't remember how the fuck we got to the Sylvan Park show ourselves, because obviously we didn't drive there.
Yeah.
Because to go from that show to the next show, we literally packed Tom's car like a clown car. There was people sitting on top of each other in the back seat, people sitting on top of each other in the front seat, people in the trunk. Literally, we went from Sylvan Park.
Common theme with this particular car, the light green ish.
Yeah, Honda. Yeah.
The common theme, like clown car.
You know what's funny? Like I had a green Honda, and it was always like that.
Dude,
It was always packed with people.
it's a thing.
Yeah.
It's a thing, dude. You know, like people sitting on like if it's not a person, it's a bass drum. You know, like on your lap.
It was crazy. I really wish I could recall how many people were in that car, but I just remember it was ridiculously like people on top of each other. And we went from Sylvan Park and Redlands all the way to pretty much down the street from the showcase in Corona.
Well, we started doing like Imperative Peace first, and that's how we started playing shows. And then with before Tom was in ARM, Tom was in
No Me Gusta.
In No Me Gusta, right? And then that's how like we got mad close. Like we all got mad close from that. And that's how he joined ARM.
Yeah.
And it was through like that like brotherhood, I would call it.
Which is funny because if it wasn't for Sergio, Tom wouldn't have never been in ARM. Sergio pushed for us to bring Tom into ARM
Really?
so hard.
Really?
Yeah.
Damn, that's tight. Like God, he always has to be that guy, dude.
Always.
Go, what the fuck? So like and at some point like Bobby and I started our own band, and that was Impact. And then I remember like Sergio coming over one time, and this is already at a time when he had already like it was in the process of like moving out of state, and we were playing, and then and Francisco was in the band, and we had the homie Victor, and then like we just stopped doing that. And I remember Bobby and I were jamming one time, and we made like a song that was like super power violence, and we were like, oh shit, this is super cool. Let's not use this as like an impact song. Like we should start this as its own thing. And then Sergio like had visited from out of state at one point, and we were like trying to show him this song, and he's like, oh, this is fucking hard, you know, blah blah blah. Like let me play bass. And we're like, okay, it was cool. We're doing it, jammed it out, and it sounded so awesome. And then from there, we were just like, okay, cool. Like let's do this as like a band, you know. And that's when I remember we did like our first show. We were the fucking the t-shirts like as like masks, and like, you know, to try and be fucking edgy, I guess.
Yeah.
And then from there, it just kind of like you know, moved into like what it became. And he was the bassist for Hit 'Em Where It Hurts, you know. I can't remember, but like I feel like a part of me like thinks that he's the one who came up with the name.
He loved that name.
He loved that name.
He loved that name.
He thought it was an awesome name.
It is an awesome name.
It is an awesome name. You know, I tried to change it at one point just because like I know that like we had built up like a reputation for ourselves, and it was hard for us to get shows. So like,
because of the rowdiness.
And like, you know, like impulse control on my end. So so I tried to like change the name or whatever, but he like dude, I thought that was like he fucked with that. Like,
That's Sergio, dude.
Yeah, dude. And so that's kind of like how we started playing music together, like as a band. And it was awesome, dude. Like, and I remember like that was like when we kind of got the closest, because he would even come over and it wouldn't even be like about like band stuff. Like he lived at my house for a while, you know, for a little bit. And when he was transitioning to go to school in Santa Monica, and which was even cooler, because then like now we can really do Hit 'Em Where It Hurts, you know, because it was me, Bobby, and Sergio under one roof, you know. And that was fucking awesome. And yeah, like I just remember he was like really focused at school at that time, because he had moved to Arizona to study film, and he was still doing that out in the college in Santa Monica as well. Yeah, but I mean, he's always been into that. I remember, like, even like back when like he lived in Southridge, like he would show us like all the videos he would take. Like he would film like people skating, people fighting at school. You know?
Well, dude, yeah, he's the only guy that I knew that had the original Mac. You remember the Macs that had the colored panel on the ends of them?
Yeah.
And me and Eddie would always make fun of him and tell him, like, dude, like, your dad gets you a new Mac every year. Every year you have a fucking new Mac. And he always had Final Cut Pro. And he always loved editing videos.
Yeah.
And we'd always go out and just shoot these random ass skits. I wish I still had the DVDs, but we had like skits that he would just like, oh, what if we go do? I remember we had one skit where we went and we hopped the fence to our elementary school that had trailers, and we stuffed like this body bag, like this. We stuffed this thing to make it look like a body, so we could throw it off of the roof and pretend like we're like kicking someone's ass. And we had we had this like whole skit about that, and we had like all kinds of different skits that we did, and we thought we were Jackass, because, you know, at the time that was the time of Jackass was like big as fuck. So like, we were doing like throwing fucking lemons at fucking cars from like the other side of the hill, you know, like. And he would edit all these videos, and we would have these little DVDs. We would sit there and throw them in and watch them, and thought it was like the dopest shit ever. I wish I had those still.
Yeah, dude.
But he was always so into like, from even that time, he always had a calling for like wanting to be a cameraman and do video, do video production kind of stuff. And that's what he went to college for. I mean, and he has that personality to like, because to be in that industry, you have to network. Yeah. And he was just a natural fucking network magnet. Yeah. He fucking, and he could just talk to anybody and become their fucking favorite person.
Like if you were to look up networking in the dictionary, it should show a picture of his face.
It should.
Like he was just the best at it, dude. He because he just knew how, like, for like, no matter who you were and no matter how long you've known him, like you meet this fool, you feel like you're his best friend.
Forever.
Yeah, forever. Yeah. Yeah, and he treated you as such, you know? So it like he had this natural like magnetism about him, and it just made things like networking easy for him. It was easy for him to make friends. Yes. Like he didn't give a fuck, dude. Like
Two fucks.
Yeah, he wasn't ashamed of like, you know, coming off a certain way or anything, you know, like
it was just him.
He was just him, and take it or leave it, but everybody took it, you know?
It's funny too, because like when he moved away, you know, he would come to visit. Mm-hmm. He wouldn't fucking call me to tell me he was coming to my house.
Oh my
ever,
God, dude!
Fucking ever. This is how I would know. I would be in my room, and my parents are just laughing, and I hear his distinct fucking tone of voice. I'm like, is that fucking Sergio? I'd walk out of the room, and I'd be like,
"We've never
Sergio." Hey, I'm over here. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, you didn't even call me.
That's crazy because we've never talked about this before. Same shit, dude. He would always be like, hey, dude, open your door. I'm like, what the fuck? And then like I'd open the front door and he's there, right? And he'd be like, oh, I'm coming over right now. I'm like, bullshit, you know? He's like, no, I'm on my way. And then like a couple hours later, he shows up at the door, you know? And then I remember one specific time he was like, yo, dude, open the door. I'm at your house. And I was like, all right, cool. I'll open the door. And there's no one there. And he's like, I'm fucking with you. I was like, oh, you motherfucker, dude.
He did that shit to Edgar.
Dude,
he did that shit to Eddie. I remember specifically Eddie calling me and be like, motherfucking Sergio told me he was here. And I walked outside in my boxers. He's not here. I was like, bro, he's in fucking Arizona. He's fucking with you.
Dude. Oh, man. He used to do that shit all the time, dude. Like, just show up all random. Like, that's funny that you're telling me that he would do that shit to you, too.
Oh, all the time, like, dude. And my parents loved him so much that they would just let him in without even telling me he was there.
Oh, dude. Same.
All the time. I just hear his laugh. Yeah. I hear his laugh, and I'm like, oh, what the fuck? Sergio's here.
He called your mom, right?
Yep.
Same. Like, that's just what he did, you know? That's just what he did. So, like, let me ask you, man. So, Sergio's passed away, right? So, he's someone that you like. You guys lived across from the street from each other, you know. Very good friends. How was it for you when you received the news? How did you find out that he had passed away? And then what was that like for you?
So it was crazy because I had just started dating Marlene in December.
Really?
She met him once because he came the last night that you hung out with him. The day after, he came to my house before he went back to Arizona. So that was the last time that I remember being upstairs, hearing his voice, coming downstairs, chopping it up with my mom and dad. My wife was upstairs with me. She met him that one time. I had told her already everything about him at that point.
Because she had met him before that.
No, that was the first time.
Really?
That was the first time she ever met him. But I had talked to her about all my friends, Sergio, the whole shebang by that time. We had been dating for 2 months. It was Valentine's Day. Oh, man. It was Valentine's Day, I remember. We went home. We had a good Valentine's Day. It was our first Valentine's Day. We had a good Valentine's Day. It was fun. I wake up from a text that Tom texted me. Mm-hmm. Well, no, actually, Tom came to my door. He didn't text. He was calling me the whole day before.
Yeah.
but I didn't see the phone calls. He actually came to my house.
That's who called me, and that's how I found out.
He actually came to my house and he told me. And I didn't think it was real.
Same, dude.
I didn't think it was real. I remember going into my mom's room and just started fucking crying. And she hugged me, she held me, and she's like, this is typical Mexican parent stuff. She's like, okay, cry it out now. Cry it out. Don't let your dad see you like this. Don't let your dad see you crying like this. Like, just cry it out now. And I did. Cried it out. Called everybody that I could. You know, talked about what are the plans for the funeral? How are we doing this?
Yeah.
And we all planned it out. Tom drove. It was me, Tom, Eddie, and one of his ex-girlfriends from like tons of ex-girlfriends.
One of his many
ex-girlfriends that I couldn't fucking believe at the I couldn't believe how many fucking girls went up there at the funeral and fucking
so
talked.
glad you are talking about that, because there's like people there and it's mostly like girls, and I was like, really, bitch, like, why are you here? Like, you know? And but dude, like, that's funny, dude, because I mean, he had many girlfriends. Everybody loved this guy.
Yeah.
Everybody loved him.
His funeral was like
It was a lot
of people, and it was a lot of people talking. And a lot of, I remember like there was so much pressure. Like me and Eddie, like everyone was like, dude, you guys got to go up there and talk. And I remember we were all like, no, we don't, you know, we didn't want to do it. We didn't want to do it. But when we started seeing all these fucking random fucking people that we never met in our lives,
dude,
going up there and just like having these long like speeches about Sergio, and they've only known him for like a year or two.
And they were referring to him as their best friend.
And that. So that put the pressure where we're like, dude, we got to go up there now. Like, there's no fucking way that we cannot go up there and say something.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, no offense to any of those people, but...
Yeah, word.
You know what I mean? Like, his two friends needed to go up there and speak.
Mm-hmm. So,
like, that put the pressure on us. Like, we have to go up there and say stuff.
Yeah.
We have to go up there and say something.
Like, I don't even remember talking to you there. You know what I mean?
I don't remember talking to you either at the
yeah,
funeral.
like, it was just so, like, focused on just, like, your own personal grief in that moment. Like, there, you know? And... like, the only thing I really remember is like we carried the casket.
Yeah.
You know? That's the only memory I have of us like being there like together, you know. But like that was very challenging, dude. You know, because I remember for me it was I was at Disneyland, bro. I was at Disneyland with Alexis. It was like our first date, right? And we had just gone there, and we went on a couple of rides, and she was like, "Oh, let's go smoke," you know. So we had left the park, and we were like hungry. So like we left and we smoked a little bit out of an apple, and then we went to like this Subway to just grab a sandwich. This is right across the street, like off of Harbor, and like as I'm trying to pay, I remember my phone was going off, and it was Tom, and I was like, "Oh, that's random." And answer the phone, and like that's what he was telling me. He's like, "Yo, dude," like he sounded like off, and he told me like, "Yo, like Sergio died," and I told him like, "Shut the fuck up, dude. Like that's not a funny fucking joke." And like I remember like getting mad at him, dude. Like seriously, like this is so unfunny of a joke, dude. Like I will drive over to where you're at right now and beat you up, you know. And he's like, "No, bro, like I'm serious." And I just heard it in his voice, and he's like, he broke down, and I was like, "Yo, what the fuck? Like that's so random, you know?" And like I told Alexis, and I was like, "Yo, like I just found out my best friend died, you know?" And we drove back to my house. Like we bailed on the date. She drove me back, and I just remember just it being like an overwhelming scenario, dude. Yeah. You know, it was very difficult to fathom, you know, like this person who was larger than life, dude. Like, being someone who you feel like is your best friend, and like and I remember being salty at the time, like during like the wake and stuff, and people talking, and like I felt like jealous, like how the fuck can you say, like, I don't even know you, like I don't know you, like how can you be his best friend like that, like we are his homies,
It's funny that you say that because I almost had that kind of feeling, but I always knew because there was always this fucking running inside joke with the army guys. Sergio's goons. Sergio always had his goons.
Yeah.
He always had some random people that would live at his house for like 2-3 months at a time, and we would always call them Sergio's goons.
Yeah.
So when all those people came up, we were like, dude, there's so many of these Sergio goons. But we knew who the real ones were. You know what I mean? When the real ones went up to talk, we knew those are the real ones. But when the other ones went up, we were like, Sergio's goons.
Yeah.
We knew.
Yeah.
Do you remember calling me?
I don't.
You called me while you were at Disneyland.
Yeah,
you found out.
I remember making phone calls like in like downtown Disney when I was just trying to get my bearings, and I called many people. But I don't specifically remember calling you because
I remember you calling me. Like I was living with Wayne at the time, and Amber, me, Juliana, and I believe Justin Castaneda.
Mm-hmm.
We just got back from the swap meet, and we're walking in, and you were calling me, and you sounded like erratic, and you just like blurted it out, and I was like, wait, what? And you're like, dude, like I can't deal right now. Like I need you to do me a huge favor. Like I need you to just call who you think should know, because I can't do that right now. And you're like apologizing to me, saying like I'm sorry to put this on you, but like I just can't do this right now. And I was like, no, dude, like I got it, don't worry. And then like I hung up, and then everybody's just looking at me because they heard you, like what's going on? And then like I said it, and I broke down, and I was just like, because Sergio, I didn't know him that long. Like I met him through Impact, and then Hit Him Where It Hurts. But yeah, like he had that like magnetism to him. Like he just made everybody his best friend. Like you guys are saying, made everybody his best friend, and he was like the first like real close friend that I lost like that. Like not even family like I had lost yet.
Yeah.
And like it hit me, and I was just like, fuck. Like, but I was like, I gotta call people. Like, and then the first person I called was Evan. And then when I told him, like he like didn't really react because I remember him saying like, oh, hold on. And then I could hear him put the phone down, and he was like talking to because he was at work.
Yeah.
He was talking to a customer, and then he picked the phone back up, and he's like, hey man, like I gotta let you go, but I'll call you back as soon as I'm free. And I'm like, all right. And I don't remember like talking to him about it again. But
Yeah.
the next person I remember calling was Desiree.
Uh-huh.
And then like she immediately started crying, and she ended up coming over. And then I don't really remember like the rest of the day. I just remember being at home. And then the next time I saw like everybody gathered was for the show, the memorial show.
Yeah, in LA.
Yeah. And I have like the biggest stage fright, but I remember people were going up and saying stuff, and you were like waving me over, and I was just like, no, I don't want to, like, because I have really bad stage fright. But I remember Matt Doyle. Remember him? Mm-hmm. I remember him being like, "No, come on!" Like, and I think he was like holding my arm, and I just remember like thinking about it now. I was just like, "Fuck, dude," because all I did, I told like a story about us. I think when we were gonna go to Vegas, and we ended up not going.
Yeah, I remember that.
But the whole time, I just had like my head down, and I was talking really fast.
And we were trying to turn you on to the locust.
Yeah. But I just remember like I had my head down the whole time, and I was talking like really fast, and it was nuts, dude. Like it was a crazy experience. Like I said, it was like the first like close friend I had like that I lost like that.
I remember that. I did that whole memorial show that we had was just like cathartic in a way of just like, fuck, like so many people love this guy.
Yeah.
Like so many people have an attachment to this human being It was just like nobody else. Like
Yeah.
I have to this day not met anybody like him.
Yeah.
And to make such an impact in everybody's life, and it's just a tragic loss, man.
Yeah.
It's a super tragic loss, like, and he had like the biggest heart.
Yeah.
And it just sucks to see people. I always feel like with these like almost 38 years of my life, like all the people that have lost have always been like the people with the biggest hearts. And it's just fucking tragic, man. It sucks. But I'm glad we're doing something like this to keep his memory alive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
so everyone knows how good of a person, how many people he impacted in his like short time being here.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Yeah, like every day I think about him. There's not one day that goes by that I don't think about him. It's crazy because I feel like he had a moment where his spirit came to me, because I had a moment where I wanted to quit playing music like a few months after he passed away. And I remember sitting there, and his parents had just given me his guitar. And I was just sitting, just contemplating. And at the moment when I was contemplating, I was like talking to him. And in that moment, the guitar, there's no way, I still can't even explain it, but the guitar just fell and flipped all crazy on its own. And I was just like, dude, is that him here telling me no? Like, don't do what you're thinking. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, like everything I do music-wise, I always have him in the back of my mind, like, you're here with me.
Yeah.
Anything I write or do, I'm like, even when I'm listening, it's funny, just like listening to certain type of music, and when I think like, am I being a poser? I always have it in my head like, fuck everyone. If you think it's tight, it's tight. Yeah, it's tight. You know?
Yeah.
So
Because he was never embarrassed about what he liked.
No.
oh,
Never
never.
embarrassed.
I remember we fucking talked shit to him for like hours about him loving Yellow Card.
Oh, yeah?
It was like really full of electric fucking violin. Really full of fuckers. Like, yeah, Yellow Card's tight. Fuck you guys. That shit's dope. You guys suck. Fuck you. He'd always fucking hit you with that. So it was just like, all right, you gotta respect it. You know?
That's funny that you say that, because when we would go to shows, hardcore kids, all these, like, they try to wear like the cool band T-shirts and stuff.
Yeah.
And you see fucking Sergio walking around with like a Star Wars T-shirt or like something geeky, you know?
Yeah. Like
And,
hella
like,
geeky.
Yeah, and like I just remember thinking like, that's fucking tight. Like, he's not trying to impress anyone. Like I just remember thinking like, he was the only other guy at that time when I first met him that had a locust tattoo.
Yeah.
And I remember I had one. That was my first tattoo as well. So I just remember thinking like, oh, this guy's gonna be like my homie, you know? And it's funny, dude. Fidel's was actually the one that broke me the news. You had called me because I think we were supposed to hang out or something. And I think I texted you like, hey, dude, like, are we still on for like the next day or for whatever? And then you called me and you told me. And I wasn't as close to him as like you guys were.
Yeah.
But even then, like, I remember like having that moment, like in a fucking show where like I sat down because I was like, oh fuck,
It hits.
like yeah. And I remember thinking like, damn, like immediately like one of the things that came to my head was like, I'm glad I was lucky enough and fortunate enough to have played 2 great shows with him. Mm-hmm. And like, hell yeah, like I got to experience that, and like not a lot of people can say that.
Yeah.
And I just feel like we had so many similarities, and it sucks that I didn't get longer time to spend with him.
Yeah.
Because I feel like our friendship would have developed a lot further.
Oh,
and,
I'm
like,
sure.
Yeah.
I'm 100%
Because in
sure.
hindsight, like, he's into all the weird shit, like Locust, all that weird experimental shit. Fucking, he was into
You guys were
filming.
cut from the same cloth, dude.
Yeah,
With that kind of stuff.
And I remember you were telling me about him, and he's like, dude, you guys are like fucking twins. Like, you guys are like the same fucking person as far as like our interest goes. And everything. Oh, that's tight because I don't know anyone like that. Like, I don't,
Who likes the weird, obscure, like the shit that people would normally like talk shit on you for.
Yeah, that's how I was like when you were mentioning the Blood Brothers.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, like I love that shit. Like, and it's funny because like I think I know exactly like what DVD you're talking about. Like,
Yeah.
And I just remember thinking that's like the wildest shit I've ever seen. Like
The Firehouse.
I think that's what it was, and like same thing with the Holy Molar. Like I know exactly what DVD like you're talking about because I remember like there was like a large sub. Like a sub sandwich in that one too. That, yeah, dude. And I remember like they were like before like they were starting to set up. They were like in the van. They're like dude, this is fucking weird. It's just bail. Like they were like kind of going back and forth. But I just remember thinking like it's that thing that's like out of all the people that aren't into this music, like this guy's like super into it, and like we have that bond like that,
Yeah, and it was super into it, like not. Like it wasn't like ironic.
No, yeah,
like it was just because he genuinely like I like a lot of this like Block Party, fucking and Albatross and shit like that because he just loved and appreciated like that weird, obscure and like dancey stuff,
Like, even just random shit. Like I remember one time he was all like, "Oh, I love Conmel Kings." I was like, "What?" I was like, "What?" Okay, all right, cool, dude.
That's funny.
Just
dude.
randomness, dude. Like he just appreciated art and music for the substance of it.
Yeah. Fidel, do you remember the first time like you met Sergio?
I think it might have been when I saw you Impact. It was like some backyard show by the mall. Mm-hmm. I think when I walked in, and you guys thought I was like a cholo or something.
Oh yeah,
because I had a fucking tall tee, white tee,
like a shaka,
yeah, and fucking buzzed head. Yeah, I think that was the first time.
I can't even imagine that.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that was from Orlando, fool.
Hell yeah. Do you remember the first time you met him?
I don't remember. It had to be in your room. I don't remember a specific like first time, but I'm pretty sure it was just kicking in your room. And then I remember like really talking to him when we started having like the Hit 'Em Where It Hurts band practice. Mm-hmm. And I remember like you'd be off on your computer or doing something or doing whatever, and like me and him would just be sitting there talking about like random shit, dude. And the same thing, like dude, like I suck at small talk, but he would just make it so easy. Like he would, like you mentioned, like he was just like,
yeah, like you didn't have to work at having a conversation with him.
Yeah.
He did all the work.
Yeah, he did all the work.
Yeah, which is like, that's a great quality in a person. Like, and he like that shit just shined through. So, like I said, man, it just sucks because like he was so young, dude.
Yeah.
And so much ambition. I feel like if he was still alive, he would be fucking inviting us to fucking movie premieres right now.
100%.
Yes.
Like I feel like I would be seeing like his Instagram story, like being him like on the set, like just being like super cool with like
he's on Stranger Things, fucking being the camera guy,
dude,
or some
right?
shit, you know?
So he was bowling right once, and he was wearing like a Big Lebowski shirt or whatever, and like just chilling at a bowling alley, and became friends with Paul Walker.
Oh, that's right.
Because he was like
Right.
bowling there at the same bowling alley. And he approached him and was just like, "Hey, dude, you're Paul Walker. That's pretty cool. Like, let's hang out and like be friends. Like, I'll buy you a picture or whatever. I don't exactly remember how that went down. I remember him telling me about it. And there's a picture to fucking prove it, you know? And like he just had
he
that.
wasn't scared, dude.
Yeah, like,
he
I
wasn't scared to
remember-
approach people.
I remember him telling me like when he was in New York that like he was just like walking down the street and like ran into Max Ward.
Wasn't he wearing like a
And
Scholastic?
he's wearing a Scholastic Death shirt, and then Max Ward was like, "Yo, like that was my band. And he was like, yeah, you're Max Ward, you know? Do you want to go get a coffee? And he's like, sure. And then he came to the house after he came back from New York, and he was like, hey, do you want to see something tight? And he shows me his phone, and he has Max Ward's phone number in his phone. And it's like, that's pretty fucking cool, dude.
Dude, he went to Rhode Island once. He fucking sent me a picture of him chilling with the dudes from Lightning Bolt.
Shut the fuck up, dude.
Dude, like, not even at the show. It was after the fact. It was the next day.
Like, just being homies.
Yeah.
Like, they've been homies.
Like, they've been homies.
God
Yeah.
damn it.
This guy was something different, dude. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, if he was alive now, we would be at movie premieres.
Yeah. So, what do you think he would be saying, like, right now? Like, what do you think he would say, like, right now, like, in this conversation, if we were recording, like, as we are?
Damn, it's hard to say, man. He would...
He'd be like, "Are you guys talking about me?"
Yeah. That's exactly what he's doing.
Dude.
And then he'd probably be telling me to shut the fuck up. Hey, shut the fuck up, motherfucker.
Hey, you're trying to say I'm
What are you trying to say about me?
What are you trying to
Like,
say?
Shiesty, what are you trying to say? Yeah.
Shiesty, oh my god.
Dude.
He was very animated.
Dude.
Very animated.
Very. This was
Yeah.
his move. This was his move.
Yeah.
This whole hand,
The hands, like,
the hand into yourself. That was his fucking thing, man.
Dude, man, there's so many fucking memories with that fool. Like, just especially like in the Fontana like backyard show like days, dude. Like that was a time to be alive, bro. Like, if I feel bad for people who didn't experience those things, like, and especially like around Sergio doing it, you know, because he was really like life of the party.
Yeah.
You know, everybody wanted to hang out with Sergio at those shows, you know. And like I just like when I look back on those things, what I look back on the most fond is like watching Arm play, right? And then playing like Dance Disaster, you know, and just watching you guys and Sergio just mad fucking feeling it, dude. Like, like, and just like having that be like a whole ass vibe. Like when the party peaked, it was at that moment, you know, and it was always that song, and it was like you guys just vibing out, and like it was.
Dude, we gave no fucks.
Dude.
The name Apathetic Ronald McDonald really fucking was the perfect name for us. Like, completely, like, just, like, embodied our fucking attitudes during those times, during those years. Because I just remember at the time, we were just like, what's our identity, guys? I remember all of us sitting.
Are we power violence? Are we like...
Are we power violence?
Blood Brothers-y, like...
Are we political? Are we non-political? Are we, like, satire? Like, what are we? And I just remember him always being like, we don't give a fuck. I'm like, yeah, we don't give a fuck. And then I think Al was the one who was like, apathetic. We're apathetic. And we're sitting at it. It just happened to be that we were eating at McDonald's at the time. It was during that time when McDonald's had fucking 49-cent cheeseburgers.
Oh,
Yikes.
So,
bomb.
right? Long time ago, kids. You'll know nothing about that with this fucking inflation. But
It's like $4 now.
yeah, exactly right. But
Go to
I
In-N-Out.
I remember it's funny because we came up with that name, and then a week later we had played with Edgar's old band, because Edgar was in like a anarcho punk band before he was in Arm, and they were all like super vegan, crusty, pita, and you know, the whole 9 yards. And we showed up to a joint show, our first show that we're playing together, and we didn't like each other. We bought like 100 cheeseburgers, all Sergio's idea. we bought like I don't know how we got the money, but we got the money to get like 100 cheeseburgers, right? And when they played, we just fucking tossed it at them. just fucking chucked cheeseburgers at them.
Dude. That's funny, dude.
And I remember Edgar picking one up and trying to throw it, but he's so athletic. It just kind of like flopped forward. And then I think a few months later, a few months later, after that show, we had played a couple other shows with them, and they broke up. And Edgar was like, "Hey, you guys are looking for a singer?" Because we didn't have like a real like vocalist at the time, and our drummer was already planning on quitting.
Yeah.
And he like drew up the album cover for what was that fucking name that he named the album?
Man consumes as the world dies.
How do you remember that? I don't. I suck.
Just because I'm that guy, dude.
So he drew the album cover. We had him roll through
That
for a
was
practice.
an awesome album cover, dude.
The rest is history.
Dude, I mean, I feel bad for the people who don't know.
I say, one of my fucking every time I look at the album, I always think of that fucking what was that song we called?
Boca Bebop?
No, not Book of It. It was what was it? Ice Cube sucks and your movie sucked too, or some shit
Yeah,
like
like
that.
Ice Cube sticks to rap because your movies are fucking crap.
There you go. How do you
Damn.
You're way better remembering my own fucking albums.
I
God damn,
love
dude.
Arm, dude. I love Arm, dude. You know? I just remember like my favorite song on the album was like when it was like dun 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 dun, and then Eddie was like
That, it's hilarious that that's your favorite song because that's Sergio's song. That
Dude.
song is called Vulture because that was his nickname. We called him the Vulture.
why?
It's kind of fucked up. So we all I mean anyone who knows Sergio knows that Sergio had a receding hairline
Yeah.
from like a young age. So we fucking went to the pool one time and we came up and his hairline was all the way back here. We're like, bro, you look like a fucking vulture. You know his fucking nose is all extra pointy. So we called him the Vulture, and then that song was titled The Vulture. And
Yes.
that was his song.
Hell yeah.
Like, I mean, I didn't really write it. All I did was fucking do the fucking stupid dan 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 with the pulls, and then Sergio wrote the bulk of that song.
Dude.
And we're calling this one the Vulture.
Hell yeah.
And that scream wasn't Edgar. It was
No?
fucking Sergio.
It was? Oh my gosh. I just remember I remember like one time like we did like this I have this on a disc and it was in my garage and it was supposed to be like a Nomos like live set and it was like Julio, Sergio, I think maybe Edgar was there. You I don't know if you were there or not. But it was in my garage. It was a long time. Dude, we were like teenagers, bro. And it was just like
Was it the demo where you guys did the Power Rangers thing?
oh man, no. It was like a live thing. It was like so we just like we had like hung the mic like over the rafters and we were playing and I remember Sergio just being like super extra and like just screaming like that, you know. And at the end of it, he's like, yo, fuck Arm, fuck Omar, fuck Sergio, fuck Aggie, fuck Al, fuck all those motherfuckers. I'm out. Peace, bitch. Like
I remember that.
I have that. I still have that, dude. Like and it's so funny, dude. I will go back and listen to it just so I can fucking hear it, dude.
You know what? We did a split. There was an Arm no me gusta split.
Yeah.
And that was it. And the only reason I'm thinking about the Power Rangers thing is because in the Arm side of it, Sergio did the soundbite with the you know when they do the fucking the power fucking weapon that they have or like power axe, power sword,
Power violence.
power violence. Yeah, we trying to do it with power violence at the end of it.
That
That was the split.
That was the one, dude.
And in that split, it was when at the end of your guys' session was the one where it's like, fuck Omar, fuck Eddie,
Yeah,
fuck Al,
dude.
no me gusta.
You're
fuck
right.
you guys.
You're right. You're right. You're right.
That was that split.
dude.
I forgot that we had a split.
That's crazy,
That's right.
dude.
Do you still have these recordings?
I have them on a disc at my house. Yeah, I'd have to.
Those recordings
are
are
gonna-
only on a disc. There's no fucking digital copy of that shit anywhere.
I'm ripping that audio. Like when I go home, like sometime this weekend, I'm gonna rip that audio. I'm gonna send it to you, and we're gonna put that in, and that we're gonna fit that, like in the episode, dude.
Right now or at the end?
Like or at the end, maybe at the end. I don't give a fuck where you put it, but
Okay.
like no, we gotta put that in there because it's just hilarious to me.
That shit is hilarious.
Yeah.
I can't believe you still have that.
I do.
Because I remember those only being physical burned CD fucking with literally every single one of them had paper inserts.
Hell yeah.
Like just made out of paper with fucking tape. With stapled together. Just with the little, just put the CD right in.
So let me ask you, dude. Like so, because now you're in Hit 'Em Where It Hurts. Because Sergio played bass for Hit 'Em Where It Hurts. Now you are the bass player for Hit 'Em Where It Hurts. I know how I feel about that. You know, like my perspective on it. You know, it's very like like it seems very full circle. Like from my perspective.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on that? Like what are your feelings on that?
Well, hold on. Before you answer that, so after Sergio passed, you decided to end the band, right?
Okay, cool, yeah. So put a bookmark on that. So I was very surprised to hear you earlier talk about how, like on Valentine's Day or whatever, like I remember, like it was very, it was after we hung out, and he was like, "Oh, I'll be your Valentine's," because I had recently had broken up with Dez, and he was like, "Oh, like you need a Valentine, dude. Like I'll be your Valentine." And I was like, "Okay, that's cool," So we hung out, and we made plans to do all that stuff, and like he had passed before that could happen, and I remember we had also planned like a last show
At Maya's Cafe.
At Maya's Cafe because at that time, like that's when I was doing AC/DC.
Yeah.
And it was really really
Picking up.
on the momentum. And, Hit 'Em Where, and then Bobby was like doing his own thing. So like Hit 'Em Where was kind of like dying out. And I remember that.
You had Eddie on drums for a little bit too.
Yeah, like for like the last those last couple, like the
house show.
The house show. Eddie played drums. And then we did like we were supposed to do a last show, and then it just didn't happen because he had passed. And then like I was really adamant about just like laying it to rest. And I know I remember Bobby wasn't like down like at all, So it was just like me and you.
Yeah, and then it only felt right to call it something else because it wasn't Hit 'Em Hurts at that point.
Yeah.
It was way more.
Yeah, that's when it was like shoot the cement, and it
different.
was like, yeah, we're just gonna end it. Like it's done. Like I just like, and it was just hard. It was just kind of hard to just. I mean, it was just
Keep
hard
it going.
It was just hard to keep it going, dude. Like
I mean, yeah.
I had AC/DC, and that was bringing me joy, and the thought of trying to continue doing Hit 'Em Where It Hurts at a time where my brother was kind of like he was focused on like just elevating himself at that time, and then Sergio passed, and like I was like fuck it, and that's when I recycled a lot of like Hit 'Em Where It Hurts songs into the AC/DC catalog, and partially because like I didn't want those to go to waste, and two because I just couldn't let it go, like it was kind of like me
A lot to it.
kind of like holding on to a little bit of like him,
Yeah.
in a way, and
It's crazy that you say that because the last year before Sergio passed, we did that last tour, the Arm tour, the one that AC.
yeah, that we did together, yeah.
we did together. That was the year before we passed.
But he didn't make it. He didn't make it to
He
like
didn't make
when
it
we
to
linked
the
up.
one we linked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did the first half with Sergio, but he couldn't make it to the second half of it, which would have been awesome. I wish he would
That
have.
would've
I
been so
mean,
sick.
with fucking now knowing, with fucking knowing what was to come.
Yeah.
Like like I wish it would have went down with him coming through the whole tour
Me
to that
too.
summertime. But you saying that it's like, yeah, like once Sergio passed away, that was the end of Arm, because Sergio is the reason Tom was in ARM in the first place. So when Sergio passed away, Tom didn't. He's like, I don't even want to do ARM anymore. Like, he never even wanted to hash it out again. Nothing, right? So ARM was dead for a while, and then me and Eddie, after we hadn't been played in a band for a couple of years already, and Eddie's like, dude, I want to do something. Like, I'm ready. I want to play. Let's try to. And ARM was an established thing, so we figured the easiest thing would to be get a new drummer and rehash ARM, and we wouldn't have to like do the building blocks. You know, we wouldn't have to start from scratch because we already have the established name, established songs or whatever. But we pretty quickly found out that without Sergio and without Tom, it was just impossible. Because we were asking other drummers to replicate stuff instead of doing their own thing.
Yeah.
And the only person that came close to it was Jay. But Jay was already doing Crom, K-State, fucking the plethora of fucking bands he was already in. And those bands were already fucking making waves, already doing stuff, and we were trying to rehash something that was already dead for like years. So it was a lot on his plate.
Yeah.
So eventually he was like, yeah, I can't do it. And then we tried to get another guy. That guy fucking sucked balls. And we fucking we ended up for that guy, we ended up kind of just like morphing to his skill set. And it didn't work out. And he at the end, like we did all these we bend ourselves backwards to like
try to make it work.
For him. And at the end, he was like, he ended up being a flaky ass motherfucker that was like, we recorded everything. We were ready to do shows and stuff with this like shitty product. And we didn't care. We just like, we want to do something. We want to play music. And then he's like, no, I don't like it. And then we're like, oh, we're gonna still release these tracks because we did all this fucking groundwork. We're just gonna release this album with you on the drums. And he was like, he fought us about it, and I fucking called him and I talked shit to him, and then he was like, you could have my crumbs. All right, whatever. We released like the 3 songs or whatever. So after that, we realized we're like, yeah, like Sergio was the heart, Tom was the backbone. Yeah, we're the originals, but we need to do something else. And that's when we hooked up with Derek and we started Clorox Dream and just did a whole fucking, just didn't want to rehash it unless we're going to do it with Tom.
Yeah. And that's how I feel about like with Hit 'Em Where It Hurts. Like, you know, it was hard for us to just kind of keep it going, you know? And then it got to a point where Bobby and I were just like, dude, like unfinished business, you know? And I was super down to just do it like the two of us. But I mean, it's just kind of hard to feel like it's a full complete thing when you don't have like that bass element, you know? And I remember like Val was playing with like jamming with us for a little bit, for a little while, you know? Yeah. And you know, it was fun, dude. You know, we had a good time. We were trying to write music, and he was a part of the process of when we first started changing some of the vibes to older songs. He was there. He was a part of that, you know. But he just, you know, he had his wedding coming up and stuff, and he was dealing with some of his like own personal things that were kind of holding him back, and he was just straight up like, honestly, I just can't do it anymore. I don't want to like, you know, fuck your guys's like groove up, you know? Yeah. And then we didn't know what to do, you know? So for me, it was kind of like, I really wanted to have a bass player. And I was like, you know what, dude, I'm gonna ask Omar. I was like, you know, like, I feel like just shot in the dark. I don't know if he'd be down. But I feel like he would be down, you know? And I feel like he'd be honored to do it, you know? And I don't know if I knew anybody else who could just deliver like on like how I hear or see it in my mind.
Going down.
You know? And you were like, you were like, yeah, I'm super down, dude. I just bought a bass guitar like randomly. Like this is super convenient. You know what I
It
mean?
was random. I literally had just bought that bass guitar like 6 months before.
On a whim.
On a whim. I just bought it for my studio. Literally just for my studio. That's the only reason I bought the damn bass guitar. I never thought I was gonna drop tune it and play it. I was like, it's gonna stay standard E, and I'm just gonna use it to record whenever I want to do any random shit.
And then before, like, he had a time to even like fuck with it, right?
Yeah,
like, I hit
at
on,
all.
Like he started messing with it because of Hitting Where It Hurts.
Yeah, because it was just sitting here. It was just fucking sitting in the garage. I wasn't doing shit with it. And then when you hit me up about it, it was kind of weird because like the timing of it. Because if you would have hit me up a year before, I probably would have said no.
Yeah.
I didn't have a bass, and
I mean, at that time, Clorox was really like doing things.
Yeah, we were blowing up with Clorox, and I had already told Marlene like, I'm only gonna do one band. I'm not gonna do multiple bands, and I'm only gonna do this one band for fucking 8 years. And that was in 2019 when we started Clorox, and she's called me out on it. She's like, I thought you said you weren't gonna do any more. I thought you were gonna only play music for this long. And I was like, well, I had to tell her. I was like, oh, things change, and I didn't know at the time what I was heading into. And
yeah.
Now now I have all these opportunities, and so she's like super cool about it now. But I just remember at the time she's like, I thought you were only gonna do Clorox, and then at the time too, like she was like, like. You said this, but now you're saying this. And then when we talked, it wasn't about that she didn't want me to stop. It was because I said it. Because I said it.
Yeah.
She never gave me any hints that she didn't want me to play music.
She didn't give you the ultimatum. You kind of gave yourself
I gave
ultimatum.
it to myself.
Yeah, and she just reminded you of it.
And she just reminded me. Exactly. But she's like, she sees that I'm happy with like doing with the Hit 'Em Where It Hurts stuff, and then now that I'm doing the new project with Eddie with Malecho, she's like, okay, you're doing your thing, but you remember what you said? I was like, yeah, I remember, but things change. She's like, okay, just want to remind you, just don't do that. Don't tell me something. Do your thing, but just be more assertive about your own decisions.
Yeah.
And
I will say though, dude, like I'm so happy and I'm so glad that you're doing Hit 'Em Where It Hurts with me, dude, and my brother.
Dude, it's funny because I was really happy when you guys asked me, right? And originally you guys asked me for one show.
Yeah.
And
because it was originally supposed to be like one show and like kind of take it from there.
And I think, and then I know at the time because I was doing Clorox, I know that you guys were more at like making sure that I knew that it was only for that one show and no pressure, and and all this stuff. And then when the opportunity, when you guys were like, hey, after we did the one show and we're doing practices and everything was just like flowing.
Yeah, dude.
And you're like, dude, like, well, what would you think if you became the actual bass player? I thought about it, and I was like, damn, you know what? I'm enjoying playing this style. I've never played in a drop tune. I've never played a bass guitar in a band before.
Yeah.
And in a different style. I'm so used to playing fast core power violins where everything's so sporadic.
Yeah.
And playing traditional power violins where it's still sporadic, but it's more the chunks are bigger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And the music's heavier.
Yeah.
The drop tuning. Everyone knows me as I have the homie Caesar from Sacktown. He always fucking calls me East Standard. So I'm like, you're the only motherfucker that plays East Standard and makes it fucking sound dope. And I'm like, that's kind of cool.
No, that's like super cool.
That's kind of cool. So I always strayed away from like doing drop tune stuff.
Yeah, like if we wanted to be heavier, we should totally do like C standard, maybe, because it's technically heavier. But I don't know, man. Drop tuning is like my shit,
And I love it, and I love playing it. And then when you guys asked me, like, the honor of just like being like holding it for Sergio, and being able to play with two of like brothers that I grew up with my whole life, you know, like from teenagers. We've known each other since we were skinny little fucking idiots.
Yeah.
To just being grown adults, like
With families and
careers and understanding of where we come from. It was just a perfect fit. And when you guys asked me if I wanted to like be like
a part of the band. Yeah.
Not just a one-time deal. Dude, I couldn't say no.
Yeah.
Like the whole experience and the process was just so comforting. It was just so natural that I was like, dude, yes, I'm going to do this. I'm fucking honored. And I want to just hold it up for Sergio and just take it as far as you guys want to take it.
And I'm glad that you felt that way too, because I mean, it feels, at least from my perspective, like so much more. I mean, I could have asked anybody. You know what I mean? And
yeah, you do. You know tons of people.
Yeah, like I have a lot of homies. Like I could have asked anybody. You know, I asked you because I feel like I felt like you were just fucking down, and you were the guy like I could trust with it. You know what I mean? And like it's just so like it, from the very first moment, like you came over with the bass, like it's like, oh man,
it made sense.
Like it just and to the point where it's kind of just. Like it just
it seemed flawless.
It was like nothing had changed, you know, like it made the most sense to me, you know, like you knew the assignment literally better than anyone could, you know, like it like you're not Sergio, you're Omar, and that's what I appreciate the most about you, you know. But like if there's anyone who could ever like fit into that role in a way to where like my brother and I in that sense could feel, you know,
comfortable,
motivated and comfortable to really like feel like, oh, we're back, you know, like you were the only person to have that can make that like happen for us, you know, like it just made the most sense. Like you knew this, you know, the assignment better than anybody, you know, and I'm glad that we're doing it, you know.
Dude, I appreciate that like a lot, like 100% appreciate it. And yeah, like, dude, like I always walk away stoked from our practices, from the very first practice we did. And I came in very nervous. I'm not even gonna fucking lie to you. You literally fucking sent me 8 tracks with 8 fucking different fucking. You tabbed everything out. I had to learn it on my own. I came in so nervous. And that first practice, we played the first set flawless. Like, and you guys were just like, what the fuck? Like if you guys didn't expect me to come in and like play the songs.
No, I expected
not like that though. At least like not like not doing the whole set. Like we literally learned this. We learned the first set within an hour.
Yeah,
like the whole set.
Yeah,
easy. Like I don't think we spent more than like 5 minutes on one song.
Yeah,
and it was. And then I threw my own stilo on like some of the slower parts, like say for instance for Homewrecker, the recording of the bass solo part is very straight, doon 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 doon, both times, and I did it more of with a hip hop kind of like rhythm to the bass part of it. So like little things like that I added to it. You guys didn't say like, nah, I don't want that. Or no, don't do that.
Yeah.
You guys let me bring my stilo in.
Dude.
And just let me vibe with it.
Dude, because I remember there was a time when we would play Modern Media when Sergio was in the band. And it was like during the heavy part, and he like and he would do like this do 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 like on the bass, you know. And I remember at the time I would tell him like, dude, don't do that, dude. Like you're making it too silly, you know.
Yeah.
You make it too silly. And I remember him
He was
telling
doing
me,
some arm shit.
and
Sounds like some arm shit.
exactly. And he's like, yo, that's like how I do it. Like, you know, like, why are you hating on me? You know, and I was like, oh, you know, like, my bad. I'm just telling you, like, you know, like
Why you hating on me, man?
I hear it on
Why
my
you hating
head.
on me?
I hear it in my head like a certain way, blah, 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 you know? So like, for me, it's like, in a way to like honor him, like I have to just be like I want to embrace that, you know? So I welcome it so much because like I miss it. You know what I mean? Like, and I know that like you want to just like yourself, like just rip on it, you know? And it's like I'm not gonna hold you back on that kind of thing, you know. And like I said, at the same time, like it's kind of like I welcome it, I embrace it because it reminds me of like a familiar like place,
Yeah.
if you will. But like I said, like you're not Sergio, so like it puts us in a position, me and you, like to be like I get to let you eat. I see how you eat on these things, you know.
Yeah.
And I've never been in a band with you before, so like I get to see this part of your process, and I embrace that because it's like, dude, you're fucking awesome at what you're doing, you know.
Yeah, you guys definitely let me. You guys give me the freedom to do what I want to do,
Oh, dude.
and you guys never tell me, no, I don't like that, or don't do that. Why are you doing that? Why are you playing it like that? Like, not once have you guys ever said that, and I've added like flavors to songs, and not once have you guys said like, don't do that.
Oh yeah, dude. And like, I don't know, if somebody doesn't like it, dude, like you can eat a dick. I don't give a fuck.
That's what's up.
You know, like I don't give a shit. Like
You and Bobby are the only people that I care about the critiques of like what we're doing. Anyone else can suck a dick. Like,
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. Like,
yeah. I'm
you
not-
and Bobby are the only people I care about.
If I'm not asking you for advice, like I don't give a fuck about your criticism, like straight up, you know, like, so I'm not, to me, it's like you do what you want, I'm gonna do what I want in the thing, and like that's what Hit 'Em Where It Hurts is.
And so far, I mean, I know we've only had less than a year of us playing and stuff, but I mean, every gig that we've played, every person that I've talked to that's seen us play, that you know, seen for the first time with me playing with, you know, with the band and stuff, I've had not one negative fucking reaction, not one negative comment. Everything's always been like, you guys fucking killed it.
Yeah.
Damn, you guys set the fucking bar for the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and that's been my aim from day one. I don't care if we play first, last. We're setting the fucking bar
Yeah.
with our energy and the way we fucking come at it. It doesn't care. I don't care if we fuck it up or we fuck up, but if we have that energy and we bring it, then it's a successful fucking thing.
Yeah. Do you know what's cool? Like your resume is like ARM, like Clorox, Hit 'Em Where It Hurts, and like my resume is like AC/DC, Hit 'Em Where It Hurts. You know, I mean, I guess you could say like No Mas, like Imperative Peace, but I mean, like that's not like those are not anything that anybody can like go on Spotify and listen to right now.
Yeah, but I could think back and be like, damn, No Mas was the shit.
Dude, No Mas is fun, dude.
Dude, I love No Mas.
Like Bobby Goes to Chico's, dude.
But dude, that shit was so fucking sick.
Dude,
You know what's funny? Like the other day, I was driving down Magnolia, and it's like it's not a Chico's anymore.
it's not a Chico's anymore.
Yeah, but I saw it, and like I immediately thought of, damn, Bobby Goes to Chico's. Like, when I
Man.
saw it,
Oh, dude, we would eat there all the time.
because that was like the only spot to get like vegetarian options, right?
Dude, there was a point in time when like that was the only vegan spot in Riverside.
Yeah.
Or like outside of that, like in the IE, like I know they have like, you know, was it like Happy Family. They had the vegan Thai food spot that's right there, like San Bernardino.
Happy Family, yeah.
Happy Family, right?
Off of Waterman.
Yeah.
I think it's still
That's
there.
still-
Yeah,
It's still there, yeah.
But that's been that had been there for like a minute.
Yeah.
You know, so like outside of like that, but and then they had like those vegan spots that they had on like Rancho and stuff.
Bright Star.
Bright Star, dude, right? But like Riverside didn't have shit, nothing.
They had Chico's.
Yeah, they only had Chico's.
And then like Papi's Tacos for a little bit, but that was like later.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know. Like, I've seen the same thing every time I pass by that building too, dude.
Yeah, like I immediately thought of that when I drove by it. was like, nah, that's fucking tight.
They had really delicious shiitake mushroom burritos.
Yeah.
Dude. It was so good.
That was the spot.
It was a spot, dude.
All right. Well, this episode is coming out on Sergio's birthday. So do you guys want to cap it off with anything you want to say about him before ending it?
I'll let you go first.
All right. I just want to say happy birthday to you, Sergio. We love you. Miss you. Fucking unbelievably, like, I can't even express how much, like, this world misses you. If there is an existence of a life after this, I can't wait to just fucking get to hug you again and just chop it up, and you have me fucking laugh and talk shit to me just to hear you say, fuck you, fucker. It would be the fucking greatest fucking joy of my life. And I owe a lot to you. I wouldn't have ever gotten into punk rock, skateboarding. Yeah, my life trajectory would have probably been a lot different if you never moved across the street and been so persistent to want to make friends with the fucking chubby kid across the street. So I love you forever. And there's not one day that I don't think about you. And I'm just happy to keep your memory alive. And I'll do it till the fucking day I die.
This is hard, dude.
Yeah.
It's okay, Jose. You know, I know.
You know, it was my idea to do this. And it's always in an effort to keep him relevant in my life. You know, he made such an impact on, like, my life story. You know, it's going to be hard for me to ever think back on a time in my life where, like, I don't know, it's like it was just such a profound part of, like, my story, you know. And I'm just grateful that we had become friends, and then he was just, like, the coolest dude I ever met. And I really wish he could have met my family, dude.
He would have been the best godfather.
I know, dude. My kids would have loved him, dude. And I talk to them about him all the time. And like, I don't know if he's tuning into Betamax, like in the other, like, dimensions in which he's, like, you know, fucking skating and playing music in. Like, I would want him to know that, like, dude, you're the coolest dude I ever met, and I love you so much. And I'm grateful to have, like, been a part of, like of his circle, you know? And I've met so many awesome people through him, like, and I'm so connected to so many people that I care about so much and I think about a lot, because, like, it's hard not to just kind of exist in those memories without having him in the back of my mind, you know. And I just miss him a lot. It's been a long time, you know. I still have his number in my phone, you know, and I often, like, bring it up as if, like, I want to shoot a text, knowing it's gonna go nowhere. And you know, happy fucking birthday, dude.
Happy birthday,
Happy
Sergio.
birthday, dude. I love you so much.
Fuck them. Fuck all those motherfuckers. Oh, I just cussed, huh? I'm not supposed to cuss. Oh, in that case, fuck that shit. Fuck Al, fuck Omar, fuck Edgar, fuck Sergio, fuck those bitches. Fuck it.